Hey, popular people, it's Mark and Carlo here with another exciting episode of the MPGIS podcast.
Oh, hey, what's up,
Guys must be
motherfucker? We're
thrilled.
doing it. We're doing great. We're doing good things. We're just kicking it.
Carlo's going to do the entire episode as Rachel Tice.
And then
Feel free
I will die.
to stop the video now or whatever form you listen to this podcast on. If you listen on Spotify and Apple, please let me know because...
Could you imagine having
awesome.
to listen to that voice for? Actually, you could because you worked with me. For
I would,
a number of years.
I hear it in my nightmares.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's also because I will call your wife and say, hey, just turn the phone on a little bit and be like, hey Mark, it's Rachel.
If my wife ever did that, it would be grounds for divorce. But speaking of the Rachel Tice voice, and with our last episode where we brought up that you had gotten the idea from Homestar Runner, I'd never seen that clip. So I went and grabbed that Girl Squad. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, Jesus, we might have a lawsuit on our hands. You ripped that voice.
Before we shop, how about some Pan-Asian cuisine? La la la, I love Gossip Girl so much.
Fortunately, I'm not that good at impressions, so, it becomes transformative, as they say.
I also had no idea what the fuck that sketch was even about. I was like,
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Old internet freaks me out. Probably just as much as when people watch our videos. They're like,
we are now old internet. You understand that, like, we probably get clumped together in people's minds with like Homestar Runner, like the first video ever on the internet. Like, oh yeah, that was all old internet stuff. It was all at the same time.
Let me tell you a mistake you should never make, and that is show a young person MPGIS thinking they're gonna like it as much as people did.
Oh my God,
like, I showed it to my niece.
How old?
Not impressed.
She
13.
was 6.
Yeah,
13.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, if she's not liking it at 13, then you're fucked. So yeah.
No, it was really just like, why did you do this? And I'm like, oh wow, you have the same opinion my father had. Interesting.
It's also very troubling. I remember stories about your niece when we were like taking this show out and pitching it as a TV show, and you were specifically talking about like, I have a 2-year-old niece. She loves to watch Octonauts, and now she's she's the same age as characters on our show. That's terrifying.
Dude, why couldn't we have just thought of Octonauts? Where it's just like, what is that? It's a fish. How many fins does it have? No plot twist, no heavy character, and no explosion animations.
At some point, we should just talk about like the shows that we pitched to different TV networks that never saw the light of day, because we tried to make a kid show at one point, and very quickly we were like, we could not sustain this. We have to make a fucked up adult version of a kid show. And it never went anywhere.
We can't make something as basic as a kid's show. God forbid it's something easy that makes a shit ton of money. We have to do some complex cult thing. So I had such a crazy flashback today because I had to. So I'm making a video with Than. I'm going to do like a little YouTube, or not YouTube, a social media video for Than promoting my game, Most Terrible Influence. By the way, go buy Terrible Influence, guys. You can order it now. TerribleInfluence.com, my new board game.
Pan out. It's right there on my shelf, but we're in
there you go.
9x16, so
Yeah. Well, so anyway, I'm gonna give you a Than, but I don't have Than's glasses because they broke. Because Than's sunglasses constantly break.
You're fucked.
And so exactly. Because I had to go. I literally today was like shopping for Barbie sunglasses. Which, first off, you have to make it clear that it's a doll, not just Barbie brand, because they make a shit ton of sunglasses.
Oh yeah.
And then you can't just buy one, and there's no like Than's sunglasses. Well, we're gonna watch episode 4 in this video, so we'll talk about his original glasses.
Yep.
But the ones I used to have him have, which were just kind of diffused, I had to buy like I think a set of 15. I just spent $16 on Etsy. I spent $16 on Etsy buying sunglasses for Barbie dolls, and I'm like, and my life has not changed.
Not at all.
I'm a 40-year-old man who just had to buy $16 worth of Barbie sunglasses on Etsy.
Well, that was always like the part of the struggle of doing this show as it continued to get bigger, is we would have to go to Toys R Us, which was a thing back then, and try to find dolls that we hadn't yet bought.
Let us tell you about Toys R Us.
Toys R Us.
It's like Amazon with walls.
Yeah, exactly. And the most miserable employees you've ever seen in your life. But like we would have to go to Toys R Us, get as many dolls as we could, and eventually ran into the problem of like, we have all of these. and then go searching online for potential new cast members, and then have to walk up to the checkout person with like, you know, with 6-7 Barbie dolls in our hands, and also get like a birthday card just so that it wouldn't look that weird. Like,
exactly.
Oh yeah, my
I
niece,
remember always
she
having
loves
to
it.
buy a birthday card.
Always.
Like, wow, you're a really great uncle.
I am. I'm so good. She loves me. She loves me as much as she loves the Barbie dolls. And just walk out and shame.
Then I just never let any of my nieces play with those. I'm like, no, these are important. These are valuable.
Mine.
Yeah, these are my toys. I know it looks dramatically like all of your toys, but these are different.
Yeah, you want to get weird looks in a toy aisle. Take a Barbie box and then like we would, you know, because we were trying to figure out like what their joints looked like. Like, oh, does she have elbows? Does she have knees? Let me see it. And it looks like you're looking up her skirt.
And that had nothing to do with the show.
Yeah, exactly. That was just
People
a Tuesday.
don't like it.
Just a Tuesday in the mid 2010s.
All right, so the first episode we're going to be going over today is episode 3. So this is the introduction of the Van Burens. To speak about dolls that had a lot of dexterity. The Van Burens were the first dolls that had like full wrists. I mean, we were talking about a lot of animation.
Yeah, this is this is kind of where we started working with Lily, like not just her doing voices, but helping out like find dolls, find cast. And then I feel like watching this, and we'll get into it, this feels like the first episode where like the structure of what the show would become is there. Of all these different references, and like the high school is a war zone almost, of like you have control here, you have control there, like all of those ins and outs.
It's like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly. And I think also what's interesting is this is the first episode that we did that had like heavy rewrites, where we had like a rewrite process and not just like we could throw this in, because this originally, I think we talked about on the last episode, the first version of this script was called Themostpopulargirls at the Mall. And Shay Van Buren was not related to Michaela. Michaela was in there, and Michaela comes in as some other girl's sister trying to form a partnership with Shay. And then we started to get the we started to get the feedback of like, oh, these characters should all intersect, all know each other. And so that's when the idea to bring it back to the bathroom comes in. And we can dive into it and watch it, and we can talk about the storylines more.
Yeah. It's also where we kind of set up like, oh, we have now like a plan for the season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as opposed to a one-off sketch, now we have this place that we're headed to of like it's Van Buren's versus Cheer Squad, and it's coming to a head.
So season 1, episode 3, entitled Sister Act.
Have fun smelling my poops, bitches.
So, is there cheer practice today or not?
Where the fuck is Mackenzie Zales?
Oh my god, it's Shay Van Buren.
What the fuck do you want, Shay Van Buren?
Garrett really phoning in the recording this time. Oh my god, it's Shay Van Buren.
You hear that?
Also, there's Shay's earring that sat horizontal for most of the series.
Shut up! You know I'm partially deaf in my right ear after Matthew Derringer hit me in the head with that fucking hacky sack in the 3rd grade.
Where the fuck is Mackenzie Zales?
Oh, and Aaron Krebs.
Aaron Krebs.
One of my favorite additions to the cast.
Yeah. Krebs, who was
Owned.
Who was an improv teacher at IO, and that was how I met him. And Lily and I were both in his class.
It's great. I'm like in a shit ton of sororities.
And I don't know how we found a doll that just feels like an older version of the Shay doll.
Insane.
I mean, these are the same brand and everything.
I heard you were
Just,
calling my sister a
I
fucking
don't know,
liar.
something about it.
Where the fuck is Mackenzie Zales?
What high school lets all these kids in here?
And I'm sure shooting Michaela was just the fucking worst. Trying to.
Oh, Michaela is definitely on an apple box or some little stand because she's even smaller. She's a useless little character.
You were calling my sister a fucking liar.
Okay, seriously, who the fuck is watching the door? How did a 9-year-old get in here?
Shut up, Trisha Campbelletti. Or should I tell everybody about how you make out with Iron Martinez?
That kid is supposed to be 9, and she's roughly 2.5 feet tall.
Exactly. She goes up to people's knees.
What?
We did not really do our math on that.
No.
Fucking Matt Derringer. Listen, Mackenzie Zales, we want... Oh my god, it smells...
And this is the moment where it's like, yeah, this is kind of Mean Girls-y, but it's also South Park, where it goes
When they're
from...
holding their nose, I had to shoot them straight in the face because if you see their profile, they're like this.
Yeah,
They're like a foot away.
that's impressive.
Anyway.
Ooh, Amber's in Dayhouse. Did she ever come back?
She never showed up.
Not fucking
One of the few
liar.
characters. I feel like that was always a trivia question of like name a character who's never shown up.
Well, then, I'll gladly tell the student bodies of Wichita State, Kansas, and San Diego State that you eat dick burritos.
Oh my God, that's everywhere where you applied.
I know. And I'll gladly tell the entire student body.
MPGiS, the college years. That's what's got to come next.
Yep. There's also just so much in here that eventually gets played out, where it's like, oh, eventually
Right.
we meet Caitlin, eventually we meet Brooklyn Cacciatore, and we meet almost
With
everyone
flashback
referenced
to the third grade.
to the third grade,
and the hacky
exactly.
sack.
I didn't believe that for a goddamn second. I want a handwritten apology delivered to my locker, along with.
We would later
$25 in
develop
Pakistani
Mackenzie
bucks.
that Mackenzie would never apologize.
Never.
Like, this does not fit who Mackenzie turns out to be.
Yeah.
We just
And-
didn't know.
Oh yeah, like and I think also what was the interesting thing that developed was when we figured out probably around season 3 that Shay and Mackenzie are an old married couple, and that's their best dynamic. So anytime we can force them together where they have to be on the same side, that's what that's like their sweet spot.
Pooping privileges here.
She will be safe.
Good. But know this.
I feel like this is one of the hallmarks.
Even how they're talking is so Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's this very formalized, like
Yeah. She will be
we
safe.
have bylaws. And there's Rachel Tice.
And that's how everyone knew we tied it all in together.
We were so
they're
proud
part
of
the same
ourselves.
school.
Rachel Tice.
And Rachel Tice.
And that's the moment where it's like everyone
I'm
can
sure
agree
that
on
was
this.
an ad lib.
Oh yeah, 100% with Garrett a half second behind everybody.
Oh,
It's also interesting when you watch that episode, compare it to episode 1 in terms of just the video quality and what we talked about in our last podcast episode of not having the original high quality, video, and then you watch this and it's like, oh, okay, that's what it would look like.
yeah. I mean, I don't know how much better it looks. It's so funny because it's so painful sometimes for me to watch it because I'm like, I know now what errors had been made, but like, and there's some episodes where this is much worse, but that flicker that happens,
Oh yeah.
I didn't understand what that was, and I later figured out there's like one little setting in the camera that if you turn it off, it doesn't do that flicker thing, and I could never figure out how to stop it, what it was. So man, there's some episodes where it's just like Jesus, like a strobe show. But no, it definitely looks a little bit better. And then I think after this, we upgraded Mackenzie's body so that she can actually, because I couldn't have her and Shay being just like, "What's up? What are you doing? Huh?" And then Mackenzie's like,
Mackenzie's like,
I'm in charge here. Yeah, I'm seriously in charge.
Yep. But yeah, I think it's so interesting to watch that episode because so much of what the show would become starts in that episode of all of these layers of hierarchy because it was the first one that was written as a part of a series and not a sketch.
Yeah. Well, and I think that we kind of like, we knew that it was funny, this idea of just like how in your face these rivalries are, and yet very established of like, we own this bathroom. Like,
Exactly.
as if it's some sort of gang territory.
It's fully territory. Like, we know we don't go here. And one of my favorite things that like the way this episode kicks off is just that Shay is offended that she's been called a liar, and that there are certain people who take such offense to that her sisters will all come down from fucking 2 hours away to defend her honor.
Well, not to mention,
and Ben
she
Time
was
and Space.
called a liar. Yeah, about 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the sister showed up, so they were in the parking lot, hanging out,
just waiting for a reason to fight. Let's go. Oh, she's a liar. Let's go.
Yeah. It's also, I mean, the Van Burens are a hilarious, funny family, and I love them. But it is also this funny thing of like, Shay, do you have friends? Like, you don't have a gang? I mean, later we're like, we'll put her with Cezanne.
That was one of the things where we were like, Cezanne by default.
She shows up with her literal
Shay's friend.
family who does not go to high school.
Exactly.
Anywhere she goes, here's my crew. Oh, by the way, we all hate each other when we're just alone.
Oh, yeah. Well, and also,
they don't get along.
When we were trying to figure out, like, okay, who's the arch rival of the cheer squad? Can't be another cheer squad. That's season 2. But it's like at that school, who else holds like a similar level of popularity, right? And and I think that the thing that we landed on was like the equivalent of the Kardashians, right? Where it's they're socialites. They're the royal dynasty. And we later go on to find out like everyone in their family has always been head cheerleader, has always been the most popular girl in school, and Shay's the black sheep.
Yeah, because I mean, this is obviously very much a parody or a realistic version of every 90s high school thing we grew up with.
Yeah.
But like, even at my high school, I had a big high school, like 4,000 people. The cheerleaders were very popular. Right. I mean, they were not bitchy or like they didn't rule the school, but they were incredibly popular. And,
Mark, they can't hurt you anymore. You can be honest. No, they
were
great.
So
the cheerleaders were so nice. They were wonderful. If anyone want to call me and tell me that I'm cool.
One of the head cheerleaders or one of the main cheerleaders, who's a very good friend of mine, her name was Brittany.
That's hilarious.
And I won't give away her last name, but Brittany knows this because I've spoken to her since. That character's not based off of her, but I've had lots of people went to my hgoing to my high school being like, "Whoa, dude, you fucking lit Brittany." I'm like, no.
You realize you hated her
not
so much, bro.
Yeah.
There's also, I'm going to go on a tangent right here because there's no good place to fit it in. There's an insane overlap thing that happened after the show. So one of our most popular characters is Brittany Matthews in Overland Park, Kansas. Are you familiar with the football team, the Kansas City Chiefs? You've heard of them? Yeah. Patrick Mahomes.
They're the reason my wife will watch football now because one of them dates Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift saved my marriage. That's now hilarious. My wife loves football.
That's genius.
Thanks, Travis.
So
I know you're watching.
So Travis, the Chiefs would be the hometown team of Overland Park, Kansas, right? I think we even have an episode where Judith prays for the Chiefs to do really well. Thanksgiving episode, everybody. Do you know what Patrick Mahomes' wife's name is?
No.
Brittany Matthews. I kid you not. Fucking Brittany Matthews.
Ties together.
Yeah. So that's apropos of nothing. It would never come up.
See, this is like a miniature shitty version of The Simpsons predict the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Like how The Simpsons predicted everything. We predicted that.
We predicted
Brittany Matthews somewhat associated with Kansas.
With the middle of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like I think, getting back to this episode. So this introduces, Delman had already voiced Cezanne. And I think like our thinking was like, we loved Delman and what he could bring to characters, but we also didn't want to just have him do this one very narrow character of Cezanne, who's always the French girl. And then Aaron Krebs was like on the top of, did you know Krebs before?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No, you just kind of brought him in. I mean, a lot of the casting, especially early on, you would bring people in that you knew, and I would just be like, I trust you. And Krebs, when he started going, I was like, holy fuck. I think he came up with the line, I heard you eat dick burritos.
That was 100% him. I was like, in the room on the table. Because I have a distinct memory. Yeah, we recorded this on your buddy AJ's kitchen table after you had recorded episode 1, done all the animation on his table, and then he let us back in because he was the only person. He was the only person that had mics and stuff, right? That was why we had to use all his stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he had a podcast, so we were using podcast stuff.
Exactly. I think what would happen a lot in these early days is like I looked at Aaron Krebs as like, oh my god, he's an improv teacher, like he's an expert at this stuff, and so to get all of these different people who were our teachers, who were not our peers, but like a level above us, it felt like, oh, we're doing something cool. They want to be in our thing. Sweet. It was like having like a mini celebrity there. I think, one of the things that we loved doing was we essentially created a repertory cast where it was like we have this circle of 15 to 20 people that we work with all the time that we love getting in the room with, and let's find different ways that we can deploy their skills.
Yeah. No, we definitely ended up finding like the individuals that we were just like, oh, this person is incredible. And then as the character got so good, it was like, we got to bring that character back in because that's my favorite character. Like Cameron Van Buren is by far one of my favorite characters, especially just to have her go after people. Like her going after Bridget Tice or her going after fucking Brittany are just some of my favorite moments.
Oh yeah, the moments of her and Brittany, it's just it's like it's just this big lead up to like two behemoths going into battle against each other, where it's like, oh, we have equal skill sets, let's go. Yeah.
And then up until this point, obviously I hadn't done any of the voices, and I didn't really plan on it.
Yeah.
Mostly because I didn't. This is yet another reason of why this show is so unique, and because it's like, this is not exactly my style of humor. The vulgarity, I think, is very fun, and I enjoyed the characters, and I really got into it, and that's what I enjoy. But like, I didn't like the humor of like, oh, guys voicing girl characters. Like that to me isn't alone funny. And that's not really what's funny about the show. In fact, I now realize that the show really is very much kind of drag kind of comedy. There's very fun, exaggerated characters that are just super fun to watch. But so I never had any interest in voicing any of the actors really. And then when we started doing episode 4, and we decided to do all guys because of Bill Sindelar, who ended up playing Lindsay Belinda.
It was like a suggestion from him. So the way we met Bill was one of the first places that really took notice of the show was a website that Bill was working at the time called omgay.com. And I think Bill was hosting like a Talk Soup version of a version of Talk Soup on OMGay. And so like he helped discover Most Popular Girls, and it was like I just want to talk to you guys. We sat down with him and we're kicking around ideas, and we're just like, this guy's awesome. He's cool. Like he's ended up becoming a really good friend of both of ours, like both very quickly over the years. And he brought up the idea of like, oh, we should do a guys episode. And
because I mean, at the time, the fan base, this was really before the show really blew up, and the fan base was mostly gay men. That's who really got into it.
Who immediately got it first.
He was like, he's like, you guys are missing. You guys, if you guys do like an all Ken episode, they're gonna love it. And then we were like, oh, that's interesting. That's a fun idea. We haven't thought about that. And so you wrote the first draft of this script because you had been writing everything up until this point.
Yep.
And you were just we couldn't quite figure out this Than character.
Right.
Because at first he was just a dick.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just like
and it didn't work.
Jerk shows up. Yeah.
Like, this guy's just an
fun.
asshole. There's nothing fun about this. Like the one idea that I had in there that worked from the jump was based on a guy that I worked with, I had a restaurant job and was at a hotel. So they had locker rooms there. And this guy was like a custodian, and he would just hang out in the bathroom and wait for people to change. And I was like, that's so creepy.
Oh, so he's just a pervert?
He's super perv. Like there's no other element to it. He would just do his thing, empty the trash cans, and then hang out there and wait for people to change and make conversation with you while you were changing. But it was like, I know what you're up to, man. I know what you're up to. And so I was like, okay, there's a basis for a weird character, but
a basis for a fairly decent criminal charge.
But 100%. Yep. But then the trick was finding the thing that made him interesting, right? The thing that made you not go, fuck this guy, he's an asshole. And then we started finding it, especially once you took the voice and we started writing it together.
Yeah, well, basically, because I mean, the problem is it's like Brittany's awful and really bitchy, but Cezanne is annoying, and you understand why Brittany is so angry at Cezanne. You almost kind of get it. Whereas in this, Than was being a dick, but the guys were fine. There's nothing wrong with them. So why do you have this? So yeah, I think what we did was we just did some improv together, and I was like, let's just improvise it, and I'll be Than, and we were doing it, and you said, suck my dick, and I went, okay.
Exactly.
That was the moment we're like, oh, that's it. That's really funny. What if he says okay? Then it's like, what? Then it's like, oh yeah, what if he's really into them and he doesn't know how to deal with that, and so that's why he's a dick. And now we're like, okay, now there's a little bit more to him. It's fun because he's a dick, and you can tell, this poor bastard is into them and doesn't know how to deal with it.
And that's the thing that keeps Than on screen. That keeps him from being this hateable character that you just want to change the channel on. Instead, it's this self-hatred that he has of himself that he can't get over. And
let me tell you,
I
really relate to Than. I fucking get it, dude. That's why he is my favorite character, because I'm like, I get it, dude. I get being so self-conscious that you just put out this horrible facade of, I'll just be a dick to everybody. And then no one will know how fucking terrified I am every moment of every day.
Well, and then that led to us really figuring out what the game of Than and the guys always was. That it wasn't, we hate you, it's, you're a douchebag. And we don't like your... Yeah. We dislike you for being an asshole. Not for being gay, not for being anything else. Right. It's because you're an asshole. Right.
Yeah, no one cares. And then having Tanner also be gay just to be like, no, it's not... We have a gay character, and no one cares. It has nothing to do with anything. And then, later it would be pretty well approved and liked. That was kind of a novel thing to have gay characters who that's not the most important part about them.
Right.
You wouldn't know unless, you're specifically asking. And that's okay, because most people are not one characteristic.
Yeah, and that was a big thing for us over the course of the series. And an intention that we wrote with was, even though it's a very vulgar series, super dirty, and a lot of times there's leads with sexuality or sexual terms, none of the characters were defined by their sexuality, right? That and it wasn't the most important part of any of them. And for kids that age, you're figuring your shit out, and it's like you have so much other shit going on that you're like, I don't know about this. Maybe I like this. Maybe I like this. I don't know. But we made a point that it was not the defining characteristic of any of our main characters.
Well, and then the characters who are obsessed with one thing, like Than, it becomes this obsessive thing. It's like, that's your biggest problem, dude.
Exactly.
No one gives a shit. Let it the fuck go.
The little moments where Than finds himself fitting in, and you're like, just lean into that, bud. Just relax.
So here's the episode 4 of season 1. This is the first episode that me and Carlo wrote together. From this point forward, we wrote everything together. And the introduction to the one and only Jonathan Getzlenhammer. Is that his name?
That's his name.
Getzlenhammer?
It took you 15 years, but you got it.
She was all like, no, you are. And then I was all like, no, you are.
And then the 4 first episodes, 3 of the 4 follow the same structure of starting an episode. Of she said this, I said that. And so long story short,
so good at football. Hey, Tanner.
We also figured out that all Ken dolls have bullshit head mode.
Oh, yeah.
Like I could, except for Derringer, they all can barely move their head.
Exactly.
Than's a little better.
God damn it, Jonathan. Who let you
We just nailed Than's look.
much.
I don't know why. What? Did we cut his hair? Or did it come like that?
It came like that.
What are you looking at?
We didn't touch his hair.
Not much.
So these are Than's original glasses. He does not wear them for long because I realized they reflect everything. You can see my hand every now and then. You can see like the edge of the stage.
The name is Than.
The fuck.
I remember you were very proud of that move.
It's like Jonathan.
Oh yeah.
And then this move,
only short.
fantastic.
I was so proud of all those moves.
I don't play by your rules, man.
Than's also the only guy who has a wrist for some reason.
Exactly.
Hey, that would have worked if you guys would have agreed to call yourselves the Rippers.
Oh, that's a
Another
Carlo
great
joke
joke.
right there.
Yeah, that's
Such a
Carlo all
fucking
day
Carlo
long.
joke.
You.
Suck my dick.
Okay.
What?
Drop trow. I'll suck your dick right now.
Dude, that was an expression, right? Am I right? That's an expression, right, guys?
So good.
Not an invitation.
I'll suck all your dicks right now. Go ahead, push them together like a little sandwich. I'm hungry for lunch.
Okay, seriously.
Dude, I remember doing that in the voice recording, and that was so much fun.
I
Everyone
remember that, and the
In
room
that case,
exploded.
Why don't you go ahead and pop off that towel, play with your butthole a little bit.
Jonathan, you are not going to suck any of our dicks today. You're not going to play with any of our buttholes either.
Oh man,
Well,
we gotta talk
I guess
about
we see who the real man is here.
the voice
Don't
of Matthew Derringer.
Dave Hill.
not afraid.
Whoa,
back,
get back here,
Blake.
Blake. God damn it.
All these bits took so long to animate.
Oh my god, yeah, I'm sure.
Just moving all these characters.
Man than us?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying.
The only thing that you're saying is that you're gay.
I'm not gay. You're gay.
Yeah, so?
Wait, what?
I'm gay.
He's good.
We had an assembly about it.
An assembly.
This relationship for a long time. We accept you, bro.
Thank you, man.
And this just it establishes exactly what the dynamic of the guys is always. They're always the same page. They
Right.
never fight. Everything's fine with them. They're always friends.
Yep.
Would it be weird if I joined you guys for a shower?
Oh, well.
It's like a moment. Oh, maybe this is gonna be a cool thing. No.
I vote no.
I vote no too.
This has always also been such a point of contention. I think it even was in the recording studio. Of he says, "Would it be weird?" And then they all actually say no, which would, but they're saying no, don't shower with us. But it sounds like they're saying no, it wouldn't be weird, and then they're like, "Fuck you."
I remember also the okay, and I'm a yes. I think that was improvised in
That
the
was
room
yeah,
as well.
100%.
The only other person that does that is Coach Spitz.
This guy was now based off of your janitor.
Last question. How come Matthew Derringer doesn't have a penis or testicles?
And then this is like I think this joke was in there from the like this was one of like the principles of why we did this episode of to do a Ken doll
I think
joke.
the original joke was like even though they have these burned in underwear. So like when we show him, he has like
exactly. They have like
molded
they have a
underwear.
waistband, yeah. And last episode we talked about
some great acting by me.
Oh yeah, and then we can almost see your reflection there. That crying is so great.
It's like this. Hey, man. Don't you dare look at our butts.
That was also a Dave improv.
I'm sure if we freeze frame on Than crying right there, we're gonna see a pretty good reflection of Lily Vonnegut's apartment.
Oh,
because I believe that's where I shot.
That's where we shot that one. Yeah, exactly. But I think what's also funny, like when you're doing the Than crying, there may be more things like this, but the two things that jump to mind that are similar is the way we did makeouts and the way we did crying was always the same.
Yeah,
we talked in the last episode. Makeout was always just, and crying was always just.
Yeah, it's just absurdity.
But yeah, so that episode, you hadn't met any of those guys before we recorded, right?
No. You brought in also really quickly run down who was all in that.
Yeah, in
that crew.
So Matthew Derringer was played by Dave Hill, Tanner was played by Pete Capella, and Justin was played by Brian Conowall, and then I of course played Blaine.
Yep. That's right.
But
so when they showed up, three guys show up. I don't know them. You'd met them, and I'm like, oh hey guys, and they're all three of them are just white guys.
Yeah, just white guys.
We have a black character, so I'm like, who's gonna play the black guy? And I never heard Dave Hill speak before, and that's how Dave Hill speaks. Exactly. Dave Hill's like, yeah, it's gonna be me, and I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds hilarious. But because it simply was just what voice actors are here and what dolls exist.
There's only
so many different characters.
Those were all the guy dolls that were available at Toys R Us that day. We cleaned them out.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think like one of the other things was like credit to Lily's, like she basically did the casting for that episode because she was the one who knew all these guys. I knew of them as like, oh, cool improv teachers, and like maybe you'll be in our thing. Lily was actually friends with them. Was like, you guys want to come do the voices on the show for us, and then like, we ended up becoming really good friends with these guys, and
oh yeah, I mean all of them became really good. In fact. Aaron Krebs owns a bar in Burbank, I think now. I was texting with him the other day because he was seeing a lot of the social media posts we've been doing on MPGIS. MPGIS official, by the way. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And he was like, oh, I'm loving all the new stuff, dude. That's so cool. Hope you guys are going to get back together. And I'm like, yeah, we're trying to figure something out. But what's crazy and cool is like for, I don't know, the first 50 episodes or so, none of the voice actors ever got paid or anything. We had no money. So it was all just volunteering and helping. And these guys were all doing stuff. I mean, they're all out there really acting. I mean, Pete Capella is like the voice of one of the Sonic characters.
Yeah, Silver the Hedgehog.
Yeah. And so for them to be able to just come, they always just came in and they just, whatever little dinky apartment we were in recording, they'd show up and just, it was so much fun. I mean...
Yeah,
we just got really lucked into really awesome cast members.
Yeah, and everyone always came in willing to play, willing to be silly, willing to take notes from us, which at the time, it's not like we had experience directing voice acting. I think it's a skill that both you and I really worked on and eventually, not to pat ourselves on the back, we became pretty good at of being able to get to the point of directing a character. It's like, oh, can we get this here, get this here? We have very different styles, which at some point we should go into, because I know when you're sitting there and I'm directing somebody, it is fucking eye rolling and pain inducing for you to hear me try to describe stuff to people.
Well, I have because my bad habit is I do the thing that you're not supposed to do, where I just go, just do it like this.
Right.
Whereas you'll be like, think of it like as if you were on an airplane and you are annoyed with the customer, but you have to be a professional flight attendant. I'm like, what the fuck are you? What instruction? They're like, okay.
It's so funny because you had so much experience in post and like on all the technical side of things, and also like had a background in writing. And I had a background in fucking experimental theater. I was always coming at shit from this hippy dippy point of view. And when I would direct, it would always be that stuff like, imagine that you're stuck in a rainstorm with an umbrella, but it's an umbrella you don't like. Just let that inform your process, whatever that gives you.
This is why I hate you and most of the acting profession.
Exactly. But it's funny because no matter what, one of our styles would get through to the actor. And we found the balance. We found the dynamic.
Okay, non sequitur, but about this episode.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to go? Did you go to a school where you had to shower? Where everyone had to shower together, all the guys?
Not really. We had a shower.
Really
no one used it. I went to a private religious school. My graduating class was 30, so not really.
Got it.
There was a shower.
It's so funny is I played football in high school, so the locker room had a shower. No one used it.
Look at him, big man. Patrick Mahomes over here.
Look, was I popular? I don't know. I can't be the person to say that.
Oh man, that's something every douchebag says.
No, I was also heavily in theater, so I actually left the football team to go to the theater, which did not go over well for a lot of people. But there was a shower, but no one used it. Exactly. But in my junior high, all the guys had to shower together. And like, you had to. And I was always the guy be like, I'll volunteer to hand out the towels. No, thanks. Like, not for me. No, thanks. I'm in 7th grade. I don't feel like whipping my dick out in front of all these other people.
Right.
I don't know how to politely tell my other schoolmates, I'm more of a grower than a shower, so don't judge me based off of first impressions, okay? It's a fucking nightmare. Like, whenever we do these, it's like, oh, the guys are going to go shower. I'm like, does that even happen? I'm sure that doesn't happen.
I couldn't imagine.
There aren't that many schools that even do that anymore, especially because usually you have those kinds of, like, exercise things that are at the end of the day. So you just went home.
Yeah, this is off of a recommendation that I've given to Mark. There's a great bit in the last season of Shoresy where they're talking to kids in high school now, talking about what it's like to be in a high school locker room. I'm sure it's pretty spot on of like, they don't shower because they don't want to make anybody feel inadequate. And it's very, very protected. I'm assuming that's what it is. Yep.
Would have been nice.
But yeah, I think, in this episode, that idea of the showers, like everything came off of that idea of how do we make them relatable and how do we work in this joke with the black bars covering their dicks? Because like with
how do we say
dolls.
that one of the characters does not have a penis or testicles because Ken's don't? Which I'm sure we thought was hilarious, and then we were like, we're probably going to have to deal with ramifications for this later on. But we just didn't realize.
Nobody ever got offended by that part. Yep, exactly. And I think,
people liked it, and which worked it in. Like, him and Trisha have a sexual relationship, and they do other stuff.
Yeah, we definitely figured out at some point. It's like it's probably Trisha just fucks him in the ass, and that's their relationship.
I don't think that's what we figured out. I assumed it was mostly a bunch of hand and mouth routine. But I like that you went. No, I assumed Trisha's strapping up and going to work.
Goes to town on that ass.
God damn! I did not know that. Okay, now we're dropping some real lore. Good to know. In case you guys were wondering, it was a pagan relationship. Clearly,
do you think he's strapping up?
Well. No, there's got to be another way, Carlo. I think there is.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure Matthew's a very giving lover. Matthew's a very giving lover. I'm sure.
Of course he is. Have you seen how polite he is?
He's such a gentleman.
Would you mind if I went down on you for 13 to 14 minutes, depending on how long you'd like?
It's also like this is really the only episode where Matthew is a little bit bro-y, like at the beginning. where he's talking
Yeah.
about, you know, making out and hooking up, and also where Tanner's a little bit arrogant because we're obviously parodying the dialogue from the first episode where Tanner's in the Mackenzie role.
And it was just kind of like, you guys are all like jocks and jerks and fuck this guy. And then later we start to develop characters. I think the next time we see Matthew is in the 3rd grade episode.
Yeah, exactly.
And his voice is so funny. I know we didn't write, excuse me, would you guys mind if I think it was just like, it'd be really fun if you talked like that. And then that just carried on.
Yeah, I also don't like, I can't remember if when we did the 3rd grade episode, if the original idea was for Matthew to also have like a little kid voice, and then somebody's idea was just like, he should have the deep Matthew voice.
I'm sure we did an attempt at a little kid voice, but then someone just laughingly was like, what if he has the exact same voice?
I mean, and this is not me blowing smoke up your ass, but that feels like an idea that you would have of like, what if you just had the deep voice?
But yeah, I don't go anywhere near my ass. Blow smoke, anything. I don't trust you anymore at all. Now that I know what all these characters.
What my headcanon is with Trisha and Matthew. But I think it's also worth talking about this idea of Than shortening his name, and there are very clear rules of like, you never give yourself a nickname, right? Like that's something only douchebags do, and so of course that's something Than does. And
to this day, I've never heard of anything like that. Or have I? Have we heard of anything like that?
Of somebody named Than?
Yeah.
Well,
taking the end of a word, of the name.
We're millennials. There was that whole fucking 10-year period where dudes who should have been named Chris started going by Topher because they thought that they were creative. You remember
Topher is short of Christopher?
Wait, what? You didn't know that?
Wait, no. I didn't know that. That's fucking ridiculous. Wait, hold on. Topher. Isn't there like a famous Topher?
Topher Grace from That 70s Show.
Yeah, Topher Grace.
His name is Christopher Grace.
Topher Grace.
And he didn't want to be Chris Grace. So
he
was like,
are letting him just walk around being Topher?
Yeah. And
I had no idea.
Holy shit. Are you aware that Will is short for William?
Yes, that's the beginning of the name. I know the beginning of the name ones. I know Chris's. I had no idea Tophers were fucking Christophers.
Oh, yeah.
They should go fuck themselves.
I agree.
Guess what? Topher Grace, you can go fuck yourself, okay? You're never going to be a guest on this podcast. I know you've been asking.
To be fair, Topher Grace, the only unproblematic cast member from That 70s Show. The only one.
Well, guess what? He's on the fucking list now. He is problematic.
Did you ever know a Topher in real life?
That?
Well, no, Topher was such a I would have
figured it out. I did think it's weird, but celebrities have weird fucking names. I never realized. Of course, they probably are offshoots of shitty.
Did you ever know a Topher in real life?
No.
Oh, see,
if I would have figured that out, and I would have been angry with them.
See, I went to school with multiple Tophers in college. Multiple dudes who went by Topher.
I went to school with multiple Chris's, okay? Because I didn't go to
every millennial went to school with multiple Chris's. Let me guess, you also went to school with multiple Jens?
Jen, maybe. Jennifer, sure.
Jennifer's, Jen. Yeah.
But is there another version of that? No,
I don't think
fascinated.
so. I don't think so.
We have Than with Jonathan. No one. We found.
You can start going by Ark.
No, never gonna happen. And Mark isn't short for Marcus, by the way.
Yeah, he's just.
Don't
Mark.
even ask me. Us Marks don't hang out with those Marcuses fucks. We don't talk to them. You're Mark with a C. I got nothing to say to you. Have you ever had a good
experience with somebody who goes by Marcus, who goes by that full name?
I don't think so. I don't. I mean, if I met a Marcus, I didn't.
I apologize in advance if I'm
I'm
really
sure they're
offending someone
fine
I know.
people. Yeah, we're really picking out names. Fuck all Bethany's.
The Topher thing, the Topher thing is such a I could try to have a personality, or I could just go by Topher and everyone will think that I'm fucking cool.
Dude,
it has
that's fucking ridiculous. I can't believe that's. I didn't realize that.
It's got real. My favorite movie is Garden State energy.
Oh, well, yeah. Again, aging yourself. I don't think anyone in the world knows what that movie is anymore. But yes.
The whole Topher thing. I'm sure that Gen Z kids and Gen Alpha kids have no idea what we're talking about. Like that was such a
Yeah,
like
but they're not listening to this.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Hello, millennials and Gen Z. Go get your colon checked.
That fucking blows my. What? You know what? We should do a whole segment just about how out of touch we are with like what high school is now.
Oh my god, absolutely.
I'm sure there's so much shit I wouldn't even be able to keep up with. We would when we were writing the show. I mean, again, it was written in the 2000s, 2010s, really.
Right. I mean,
and in the 2010s, we were making jokes as if it was the 90s.
Yeah. And again, at this point, we're like 25, 26. We're not that far out of high school, as opposed to now where we're in our 40s.
Yeah. Well, okay. First off, I'm not in my 40s.
You're 40. Shut up.
I'm in my 40. I am in and at my 40. Not in my 40s. Those are later on.
I will be 42 this year. I am not ashamed to say.
Yeah, and you fucking look it.
It's true. It's true. Look at this. Look at all of this gray in this beard. Jesus Christ. I'm
sure a lot of people don't realize that you shortened your name from Carlos to Carlo, which is
that's
pretty,
not true at all.
Short and
that's
stupid.
not true at all. Although my last name is shortened. You want to go into story time?
Dude, how do I not know this? What is your last name?
Well, my
Mosowitz?
Close.
Oh, Mosashevitz?
So my grandfather's name was Fred Moshkow. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now, I have always been Carlo Moss since the day I was born. My dad was always Marty Moss, but my grandpa was Fred Moshkow, and his. When they came over from Russia and, Ellis Island, he lived in Brooklyn. They moved out to LA, and him and his brother hated each other. So they decided to open a drapery business together because of course. But they said, it's the 50s. People aren't going to want to buy anything from two dudes with the most Russian sounding name ever, Moshkow, right?
Sure.
So they said, we need to shorten our name. They could never agree on anything, so my grandfather said we should be Moss, and his brother said we should be Martel. And they never agreed on it, and so our side of the family has always been Moss, that side of the family has always been Martel. So they
literally divided the family up.
Yep, I should be Carlo Moshkow.
Well, I gotta say, think you lucked out there. Carlo Moss rolls off the tongue a little bit better than Carlo Moshkow.
Yeah, a lot. Also, fun fact, it created a situation where if I ever have a kid, there's one name that I cannot give them. To bring this back to the Topher conversation. Do you know what that is?
That you cannot give them? By lore? I don't know.
I can never name my son Christopher. Because then he'll be Christmas.
Because he'll go by Topher? Oh,
no, because his name will be Chris Moss.
That's a problem. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And my son was actually born on Thanksgiving Day. But if he'd been born on Christmas
Speaking
Day,
of names,
yep.
Are any of the names in the show based off of anyone you know? Are they all entirely made up? You wrote almost all the names. Yeah. I don't think I came up with any names.
I was very intentional with names. This is one thing where I'm like, for some reason, like naming people makes sense to me. I had a little bit of a system where I would land on like the most popular kids' names of the time. Like thinking about like the girl characters, like, well, we need to have an Ashley, we need to have Mackenzie, Brittany, like these names that sounded like cheerleaders. And then a lot of times, especially as we got further into the series, I would go look up old sports rosters to look for last names. So like Amber Zendejas, Louis Zendejas was a kicker on the Bucks in the 90s. Or like, Van Buren is obviously, Martin Van Buren was a president. But sure. That like my system was always, let me start with the first name. It should feel trendy. It should feel like the type of name that a high schooler would have. And then for the last name, I'm going to go dig up a name that sounds real. And so that's how we landed on things like Ashley Cachadorian and Amberlyn Weggers, all that kind of stuff.
My life a living hell.
Oh my god!
As the guy who had to spell everything.
Yep. And so yeah, I had a system for the way that we figured those things out. Same way as I had a system for like, oh, we have to go find actual locations in Overland Park and make it real things.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yep. And I feel like Trisha, we didn't give her a last name until like very long into the series. I feel like Capoletti didn't come up until like season 2 or season 3.
you want to talk about last names? Guess who doesn't have a last name? Deandra.
Deandra. Which that's a great thing to talk
but
about.
You and I know her last name.
Oh yeah.
Remember that lore? That crossover lore?
I was telling my wife about that for the first time. We finally got to that level of trust like weeks ago.
I don't know if we're gonna drop that on this podcast. I'll tell you what, we'll actually hold on to that for shits and giggles. And if people actually listen to this podcast and you listen all the way to this point, write in the comments that you want to know Deandra's last name, and what the plan was for that, or guess. If you can guess her last name and understand it has something to do with me and Carlo, and it has to do with the shows that we make. Yep. If you can guess that. Let us know in the comments. This is something that we'll bring it up.
Yeah, it's not McGee. That is the common mistake, because in episode 2, Cezanne goes through a list of dudes, and one of the dudes is named DeAndre McGee, but it's DeAndre, like the basketball player DeAndre Jordan. Because the joke I was making was
DeAndre McGee,
Shaquille Von Trapp. It was all famous basketball player names with ridiculous last names. And so that is not Deandra. She very clearly says DeAndre. And then I forget where somebody calls Deandra Stubbs McGee at some point. And so people put 2 and 2 together and thought that her last name was McGee. Nope. DeAndre McGee is a dude who Brittany gave a shitty hand job to.
So give your best guesses in the comments below what Deandra's last name is.
If anybody guesses what it is, then we'll figure out some prize. We'll figure out something we can send you. I'm sure we have merch somewhere.
You're gonna get sent a free copy of Terrible Influence,
there you go.
The new game from Mark Cope.
I'm that is actually a very good prize.
It's pretty sweet, guys.
Yeah,
look forward to it.
Yep. Any last thoughts on episode 3 or 4?
Thank you so much for listening. Yeah, if you guys liking this, let us know in the comments. If you guys are listening to it on Spotify or Apple, leave us a comment or a like. I have no fucking clue how those platforms work.
I think Apple, it's like a 5-star review. But type something in the review box.
Leave us a 5-star review.
Yeah, I think leave an actual review because it helps boost the algorithm.
Yeah, the algorithm. Oh, the mighty algorithm that we worship and praise. And check us out next week for our next episode.
Yeah. We're going to talk about 5 and 6. Bye.
Bye.
Love you so much. Not you, Mark, the fans.